You know that moment, right? We've all been there. Your kid does something and bam, before you can even process it, a reaction just flies out of your mouth. It's that split second, super stressful moment we're going to look at today. Not with any judgment, just with a little bit of curiosity. So let's be clear. The whole goal here isn't to turn you into some perfect, non-reacting robot parent. No way. It's really about exploring a tiny, gentle shift in how we see things. A shift that can honestly make a world of difference in those tough moments, for you and for them. Okay, so first up, we're talking about something called the interrupt. And look, this doesn't mean you just swallow your feelings or stand there and do nothing. Not at all. It's actually a really powerful choice, an intentional moment where you create just a little bit of space to break that automatic reaction cycle. And here's why that little bit of space is so crucial. Because that behavior you see on the surface, the whining, the meltdown, the defiance, that's usually just the tip of the iceberg. It's almost always a signal pointing to some deeper need or struggle that you just can't see at first glance. And that idea, right there, is the foundation for everything else. Which brings us to the first and maybe the most powerful action you can take. Just pause. Seriously, that's it. It's not about figuring out the perfect thing to say right away. It's just about giving yourself one single beat, one breath. That tiny little moment is where all the magic happens. So you've created this tiny gap, this little pause. Now what do you do with it? Well, this is where we get to shift from reacting to inquiring. It's about changing that voice in your head from one of frustration to one of genuine curiosity. It's about learning to ask a completely new kind of question. And here it is. This is the question. Instead of that default, ugh, why are you doing this to me? What if we tried asking, what might be happening underneath this? I'm telling you, that question is a total game changer. It shifts you from being in a battle to being a detective. So what could be happening underneath? Well, for starters, think about their capacity. Have they just hit a wall? We all have a limited battery for managing ourselves, right? For kids, that battery drains super fast, especially if they're tired or hungry or just feeling a little bit off. Maybe their tank is just empty. Or how about this one? Could it be about connection? Sometimes what looks like really challenging behavior is just a super clumsy attempt to connect with you. They don't have the words to say, hey, I need you right now, so it comes out sideways, in a way that, let's be honest, is not always ideal. And this is a huge one we tend to forget. Skill. We expect kids to manage huge feelings in tricky social situations, but are those skills they've even learned yet? Think about it. Do they actually have the right tool in their toolbox to handle what's happening? Or are we asking them to do something they just don't know how to do? And finally, let's just consider plain old overwhelm. Is their little nervous system just completely fried? Maybe it's too much noise, too much going on, or just an emotion that feels way too big for their body. That can cause a total system short circuit that looks a whole lot like bad behavior. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. Does all this understanding mean I just become a doormat? Do I let them get away with everything? And the answer is a firm no. Absolutely not. This isn't about being permissive. It's actually a shift towards being a strong, calm leader, one who can be both firm and kind at the same time. And this lays it out perfectly. Being permissive means you drop the boundary. You just give in. A soft interpretation, though, that means you keep the boundary, but you respond with compassion for the struggle that's making them push against it. The rule doesn't change, but the way you hold that rule, that changes everything. So if you take one thing away, let it be this. It's about responding to the root cause, not just the action you can see. You're not excusing the behavior. You can absolutely say, we don't throw our toys, while also saying, I can see you're having a really, really hard time right now. You're seeing the whole kid, not just the behavior. All right, so as we start to wrap this up, please know this is not meant to be another thing to add to your giant parenting to-do list. Think of it more like an invitation. It's a reminder of how capable you already are, and it's about focusing on that long-term connection instead of just short-term compliance. And honestly, that's what this all comes down to. It's just this simple, powerful truth. Trust yourself. You are the expert on your child. This isn't about getting a script right every time. It's about trusting that you are the steady, loving presence they need. You really have got this. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if we just took all the pressure off? What if the goal isn't to have the perfect,
calm, Zen master reaction every single time? What if, instead, the goal was just to practice having a slightly softer interpretation of what's happening for our kids, and maybe for ourselves too? Just something to think about.